Hello, my love. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Spiritual Boujee Astrology, and we're going to take a deeper look at the new moon in Capricorn. Now, before we get started, I got a couple quick little things that I want to cover in the intro. So if you're not interested in this intro stuff, then go ahead and just skip to the next part. Back around the first Mercury-Mars conjunction in October, I recorded a podcast episode, but I'm not what you guys have already seen. I actually recorded it with a friend who is launching her own podcast known as The Quiet Knowing. She's already got a couple of episodes out, and her focus on this podcast is to present the paths of different kinds of healers, different psychics, intuitives, astrology, of course, tarot readers, Reiki, reflexology, all the different styles, types of healers, but it's not just the knowing in regards to like the knowledge that you get from that path, but you also get to hear their awakening process. The name of the podcast, again, is called The Quiet Knowing. And many of us, whenever we started to awaken to where we go next, our path, our passions, our desire, it's because we had an internalized click, rip, awakening. Everyone's a little bit different. Some come through trauma. Some just come through the healing process. Some have certain things that allow for different levels of alignment to come through. And what you can do by checking out this podcast is you're going to hear the different paths. And even whenever it comes to my own, you're going to hear like historically some of the things that I went through in regards to my process. I tend to be a little bit different than most people because I was always intuitive, and I was lucky enough that nobody suppressed me. But I learned a lot in the process too. So I'm going to link the YouTube link of that in the description. Oh my God. In the description. So I don't care what platform you listen on. I don't care if it's Spotify. I don't care if it's Apple or Amazon or any of those others. I will be putting the YouTube link to my podcast episode on her podcast for you guys to go check out. So if you want some extra stuff, killing some time, you're wanting an extra platform to kind of check into, get a different level of knowledge base, check out this episode. And of course, check out some of the other episodes that she's already uploaded throughout the last few months. I don't want to just say this year. I'm pretty sure it's been since December. It's been a weird few months. You guys know that. I love her. It's not about her. It's just like suddenly time feels very, very weird. The weaving of the timelines has been very, very surreal and weird. Now, so much of this energy, I've watched the themes throughout this week. Themes in individuals, themes in the atmosphere. And whenever you start to see a pattern in the themes, there's usually a reason why. The energy connects to it. This is a new moon in Capricorn. It's a new moon in an earth sign, a cardinal earth sign. For those that have not heard me say this before, a cardinal sign, for lack of a better way to say it, it's a shit starter sign. It's an instigative sign. Cardinal signs are the starts of new seasons. They're starters. They push things forward. New moons are also a heralding of bringing new things to light, new ideas, new passions, new desires. There's a new in the focus. A lot of the new through this week and the patterns that I have seen is an awareness of foundations, and it's awareness of roots, root cause, root chakra, root foods. Literally, I said this in my group chat the other day with the other healer girls. It was like I'm seeing this theme where everything my mom is focused on this week is like root vegetables, turnips, potatoes, carrots, celery, garlic, like everything root cause. Some people will be awakening to root causes of situations. Some people are focusing on a foundation right now. If you don't know anything about construction, a foundation is the way I'm about to describe it. Some people think your slab of your house is your foundation. It's not. There's an anchoring, an outline in the ground that should be layered with rebar, just to be clear, that sinks into the ground to literally hold slabs in level place. This is what's literally called a foundation. It is the outline of the entire structure. It is the support system of the entire structure. Houses that do not have good foundations, they usually need supplements, i.e., called piers. Yes, my construction always seems to find its way of coming out. I'm Mars ruled still. Come on. There's a focus in, with, around the foundation, the roots, where we are putting our roots now, where we are sinking into something, where we're trying to anchor ourselves. The new in this vibration starts at the beginning, the roots, the foundation. We are at the start of something. Now, the thing about this new moon is it also coincides with the third Mercury-Mars conjunction. Hey, we're back to Mercury-Mars stuff. And the thing about Mercury-Mars, the influx of one thing I didn't really anticipate, but like my mom brought me, I don't know, 12, I'm not making this number up. It is more than 10 different scenarios of like car on fire, car on fire, car, fire, fire, fire. Like, what is this? I'm like, well, Mercury, Mars, Mercury and cars, Mercury, Mars. Okay. And for some people, that there is the action of fire that is going on. Burning something up, that's another way to say it. But the other thing I have noticed with Mercury, Mars this time around is the irritability. More so this time than the first two times. The irritability, and a lot of the irritability has to do with, again, being responsible. Making sure we're focusing on a strong plan, a strong foundation. And if you are falling into elements of irritability, especially over the weekend, that is not the new moon. That's Mercury, Mars. So please do not be surprised if like suddenly like people that normally aren't reactive are just like, you're getting on my nerves. Because you are. Give it a break. If you can see the overstimulation, leave them alone. Go focus elsewhere. Go write a plan out, foundational stuff. Go write a plan out and come back later. And when I say later, probably give it a week or two, because I've already wrote out the transits for next week and they're going to get intense, and we'll get into that in the next week episode. There is a foundational energy that is coming through. We are at the start of something, but this start also impacts a later date. And I am saying this now because I'm thinking the next date that I'm about to say, and it's the one right after eclipse season. Like eclipse season feels like we have to make a bunch of changes to prepare for that to start. I'm going to be clear. I'll talk about that more later. But this date, this idea, this foundation that we are outlining, that we are building to, the roots that are sinking in and anchoring into the soil, is so that way as we continue to build up and grow and do more, we are solid. If you do not have a good foundation, sometimes you have to call in for support, and even the support cannot always help. This moment, this vibration, we are at the beginning of new long-term foundations. We are focused on setting good intentions into the roots. There will be additional changes that will follow. And when we get into April, there's a much bigger launching that corresponds to this vibration. And it's not just one set of dates in April, so that's why I'm not just giving you a date. I'm saying April. This direct vibration impacts April. This direct vibration, adding a layer you guys don't know yet that I've never told you. If you do know, then you've already done some research. This direct energy, this foundational, this startup vibration will also impact the Mars retrograde that we start with 2027 with. There you go. Literally a year from now. This is not an energy where you rush. This is an energy where you're doing something that is timely, that you're doing something that is going to launch a bigger thing, that it is going to support levels of growth. So many people, you've been questioning, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to launch this. I feel like I'm stuck. What do you think roots feel like? They get stuck. That's the whole point. The foundation, anchoring, anchoring the future slab in the future building. There's a reason we have to feel a little stuck, but it's rooted, rutted into our new spots, kind of stuck. We just have to change our mentality of how we're seeing it. Now, whenever we're in this ground level work, there's not a lot of movement. You don't want movement. Again, solid foundation. The other thing people are going to experience ties to the root chakra. There are things that are starting that can impact this lower area of our body. Hidden desires coming through, new desires coming through. But with the idea that we're at the beginning of something. And the long-term vibration that will follow looks different for everybody. We're at the start of something. We're at the start of openings. Some of y'all might be feeling like the chakra levels of openings. If you're feeling the twinge or the missing movement, like I want to say misstep, like you can feel it when you walk. When your hips are out of place, you can totally feel it when you walk. Like we're feeling those twinges. I'm saying it's time to do your root hip exercises. Focus on the root. Even in your body, focus on the root. We are at the start of something very timely that is going to move fast later this year, specifically after eclipse season. Sorry. It will start moving way faster, but we're setting, anchoring, rooting. I'm stuck on that. I'm very stuck. I want to make sure everybody understands that. It's a timely responsibility. It's a timely effort. For some people, it is the start of an ascension, of a new role, of a new responsibility, of a new belief, of a new passion, of a new desire, because we're going into our new normal. But we don't just get to wake up and, oh, look, it's a new episode of Pleasantville, going back to old stuff, bringing it back in. And we're like partially in Technicolor. There's still just a little bit of gray out there. I know there is. But there's more coming. We don't just get to wake up in a new episode and immediately launch into some new storyline. There's gaps in the middle. There's some things that go on behind the scenes, below the surface, roots. Be aware of that. Be aware of that focus. Be aware of understanding there's a reason we don't run, gallop and run right now. Anchor, tighten. This is it. Roots. I had other things I want to talk about, but as soon as I hit record, this is what came out. So there's that. If you feel the intensity, it's not just the new moon, it is the Mercury Mars. The other thing about Mercury Mars, because that is also perfecting during the new moon, is there still can be like plans of something, outlines of something in the written form, like quite literally we're writing, this is my plan and this is what I'm going to do. Some of you are going to be setting the stage, and your rooting is what you need to learn. It's logical. Mercury whirling the logical brain. I need to commit to this training. I need to commit to this action. but it's going to be a slow moving action, and you got to give yourself grace. Here's the thing. If you're just doing something for the first time, you're starting a new job in a field you've never been in, you don't know how to do everything yet. There's a reason we have a training time span. You're going to make mistakes. Give yourself grace. Things are not going to go fast. Give yourself grace. But over the course of this weekend, there is a busyness in the air, especially through Sunday and going into next week. There's a busyness in the air, but it's like a responsibility. It's a necessity. It's very, very necessary to set us up for the next new big level layer step in the process. However that needs to get worded for it to make sense to you. Okay, I'm going to quit beating up on that. So I got a new tarot deck. It's not new. You guys have actually seen this before, but it's so new that I don't have like a little cover like a lot of my other tarot cards. Like they have little covers. Some of y'all know this. I don't have a new cover for this one yet because I'm still using the old one, but we got the new version of the old tarot deck. So they're in the box over there. Y'all know the drill. I do not care if your ascendant is at 2 degrees or 22 degrees. Wherever your ascendant is located is your first house. And every numerical house is associated with the next zodiac sign. That is the way I read it. I've explained that plenty of times before. With that being said, we're going to get into it. For Aries and Aries risings, this is a new moon in your 10th house of career. Goals for the future, your public image, your plans for what are next. Now, for some people, there will be disruption because, again, we have this Mercury-Mars conjunction. Here's Mercury at 25.5. Here's Mars at 25.35. Mars is your chart ruler. There is a path. There is a direction. But for some of you, that path also comes with interruption. It comes with disruption. It's not just some kind of news in the sense of like, hey, you're getting a promotion. For some of you, it will be. But for others, it's going to be like, hey, so-and-so just up and quit because this isn't where he needs to set up his roots. So we need you to take over. We need you to focus on something. We need you to do something. There is a plan in the vibration. There is a path. There is a direction. There's something where you are meant to shine in this moment. There's a lot of potential for the long term. What I keep focusing on is this vibration of this week between the new moon and the Mercury-Saturn conjunction. This is setting us up for Saturn to come into Aries because this is happening in Saturn sign. The Mars rebirth again happened in Saturn sign. Mars is your chart ruler. This is setting us up for what we start to really focus on once Mars moves into Aries. And that again is just a month away. It starts late on February 13th, depending on your time zone. I just keep thinking the first full day of Saturn and Aries is Valentine's Day, because yay. This is setting the stage for something. It is setting a path. It is setting a compass. It is setting a direction for a lot of where we're going next. And even your cards are kind of showcasing this. So please do not be surprised if there is a new direction, a new idea, a new path that is coming through, because a lot of this speaks to that. We have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is like the fork in the road. I've been going this direction forever. This has been my plan. Now there's this other opportunity. And what do? Do I continue to stay committed to the insanity, i.e., do I continue to do the thing that I've already been doing, expecting something new to happen? Or do I give the new opportunity a chance to see what else can come through? What else will happen? And for many of you, that's exactly what you need to do. We have the Ace of Wands and we have the Page of Wands. So let's be clear about that. Path, passion, desire, direction. You're doing something new. You're going somewhere new. There is something that is coming to light that in some way is either chaotic disruption. I don't hope for a lot of chaotic disruption. I'm really hoping for more pivotal disruption that shows you a new idea, a new passion, and a new path. And a lot of you have to make very, very logical decisions. Again, during this new moon, we have the Mercury-Mars conjunction going on. Swords are air sign energy. Mercury rules Gemini. air sign. There's no emotion. This is logical. It is steadfast. It is steady. We are doing something because it is the right thing to do. It is the righteous thing to do. It is the truthful thing to do. It supports our beliefs, but not in an emotional way. This feels like the right thing to do. This sounds logical. In addition to that, we have the Queen of Cups and we have the 10 of Coins. So we have more energy that speaks to things that are our heart's desire. Literally with the Queen of Cups, she wears her heart on her chest, or not her chest, my bad, on her arm, on her sleeve. Like she's literally wearing her emotions out there. She's showing the world how she feels. And whenever it comes to what she wants and what she desires, there's something new in this vibration. Now, the other thing about this new moon is there is the entry of Venus going into Aquarius. For many people over the course of the weekend, not only do we have a new moon, but we also can have new arrivals, friends, network, clients, colleagues, people that we trust, being introduced by our loved ones to new people that can be supportive of us, and whatever long-term energy that is starting to unfold. It is very promising for a lot of Aries risings because we're wrapping this up with the 10 of Coins. It is our perfect 10. The 10 of Coins is different from the 10 of Cups because the 10 of Cups is more about like emotional gratification. The 10 of Coins, this is not just emotional gratification. This is wealth gratification. This is our money. This is our prosperity. This is our legacy. This is a 10th house, public image, career focused new moon, Mercury, Mars conjunction. Legacy is not that far off. Be aware of the direction, be aware of the people that are coming through, the new little ideas. You make a new friend because you went out and about. You went out with your friends to go do some type of walk around the mall and you meet other people that it's just like there's a vibe, like it picks up really fast. Pay attention to the new because the new has a direction for many of you. And that's a good thing. All right. Moving along. We're going to get to Taurus and Taurus risings. Oh, I went too far. All right. Listen here, troublemakers. It's actually not anything trouble. I just like to say that to you guys sometimes. Oh, this is a new moon in your 9th house, higher education, higher learning. Some of y'all, again, you're committing to the training. Some of y'all are looking at the travel. Some of y'all have made some plans to travel. You've made plans to go out of town. Some of you guys are starting to learn something that is also going to start to later on test a little bit of your faith, or it is going to make you get into deeper root causes of why you do or do not do things. There's a psychological aspect that is awakening in this energy that cannot be easily recognizable. New moon in the 9th. But what I'm looking at is your chart ruler, Venus, as this new moon is perfecting. Venus went into Aquarius, which is your 10th house of career and goals and public image. There's something that you're meant to awaken to over the coming weeks. It's not just during the new moon. There is a new potential of path and direction, but you need to experience something. You need to learn through experience to understand something better. There's a lot of logic here. And there's also realizing that some of the connections that we made last year, we made them because they, fit a narrative at that moment. But it's not that it was an end all be all. And this direction is a little bit different for you guys because this is a new moon that's in a trine to Uranus in your 1st house. And this is our final wave of Uranus in the 1st. We will not continue this. After April, Uranus and Taurus will be completely done. So we have a direction that is really starting to take shape in this vibration that kind of makes it make sense as to why we've had so much spontaneous, unplanned changes to like course correct you over the course of the last 8 years. Now, why am I saying 8 years? This is not just about the new moon, by the way, when I say 8 years. I'm looking at the fact that back in 2018, that was our first waves of Uranus coming into Taurus. So there were unexpected things that started to happen in 2018. And it's like something unexpected happened. And then boom, you're focused with different people. Boom, you're working with others. And in some ways, it almost made you feel unreliable, which you absolutely hate. But in other ways, it has made it unstable whenever it comes to certain connections and relationships. And it's like we've had the series of lessons over and over again to stop being rutted in just the comfortable things. And a lot of you are, again, experiencing something, learning something through experience as to why you have needed to go in a different direction, more focused on personal independence. We have this Ace of Swords and we have the King of Swords. You're at the start of something, but you're at the start of something that is very logical. It is very mentally driven. For some of you, it's even psychological. You are about to start doing something that is going to offer you financial independence later this year. We're at the groundwork of something, and it is directional. It is giving you a path. It is showing you something different through this new moon. Now, for some of you, if you are traveling, some of y'all might be traveling to places that you've never considered on your own. But now it's like, once you're there, it's like, I can live here. I could make money here. I could do more things. And as much as we could be making logical decisions based off of the sword energy, and we're not done with sword energy, by the way, some of you are also seeing different opportunities. Like, it speaks to our heart in a different way. There's just a little twinge of something different, but not enough for you to see everything. It's just a twinge. Something's piquing your interest. Something's capturing you. Why are you interesting? I can't figure it out yet. What is different about this? What is different about this place? What is different about this job? What is different in this moment? There's little ideas coming through, but again, it speaks to like the beginning stages of something that can speak to long-term wealth and abundance. Now, many of you, whenever you start doing this next thing for yourself, and it's not going to be just during this new moon, the new moon by itself is not really that intense for you. I think you're going to feel more intensity in the buildup once all the rest of the Aquarius transits start, which literally starts this next week, by the way, of the rest of the direction and what you start to want to do for yourself and build for yourself. We have this Page of Coins, but there's also going to be an awareness that starts to take shape, little inklings, little twinges of leaving some people behind or even having to deal with some elements of betrayal. So we have this Three of Swords. Here's what I'm looking at. When you start making decisions for yourself, that you want to do something that just speaks to your heart's desire, and it starts to take you down a different path, the people that do not vibe with the frequency of that path start to feel funny. It's like they start to act different, but they're responding differently to your actions and your behavior. People come into our life for a reason or a season. I need y'all to be prepared for the direction that you want to go next. That means changing people in your surroundings. And the first inklings of what that looks like and who those people are going to be, they are coming through right now. But I'm telling you right now, some of your friends that are acting funny, air quotations on that, because some of it's just a response to you acting funny. People that are acting funny, do not be surprised if they don't make it through the end of March. I'm being realistic with y'all. Some of y'all are going to have big changes in the people that you surround yourself with. And it's all because you started dedicating yourself to this new path in this moment. So be aware of that. All right, moving along. We're going to get to Geminis and Gemini risings. This is an interesting place for you guys. I kind of like this. Now, I want to be real. Mercury, your chart ruler in this new moon, is making a conjunction to Mars. Now, this is in your 8th house. We're going to focus on this in a couple different ways for you guys because I want you to be kind of prepared for everything. Y'all still have one or two elements of blindsiding because this new moon does trine Uranus in the 12th house, the unknown, the unseen, and endings, just to be clear about that. But in addition to that, this is Mercury in a conjunction to Mars in your 8th house. So there's a couple different ways of looking at this. New moon in the 8th, Mercury conjunct Mars in the 8th. Some of the disruption, whether it's chaotic or pivotal, is going to cost you money. It's going to have a price tag to it. Now, my hope is for some of you, it's going to make you money. Some new opportunity, some new possibility that shows you a different path as to like what you need to do next in the way that you connect to people and the way that you connect to community. Some of y'all have been waiting for this, but I'm looking at the fact that this is a new moon and a Mercury Mars conjunction in the 8th house in Saturn sign, as Saturn is wrapping up its final wave in your 10th house of career and goals for the future, in your path, in your direction. There is something disruptive, Mercury Mars, And I want to put focus as to what the potential of those disruptions could be, just as much as the path in regards to other ways to read this kind of transit. So let's be fair about that. First and foremost, a Mercury-Mars conjunction, you can be accident prone. I'm not wishing that, I'm being realistic. As a Mars-ruled person, I am accident prone. Be doing some stuff outside, working in the yard, building stuff or something like that. And they're like, where did this bruise come from? I don't even remember hitting my leg. You can be accident prone. There can be accidents around you. That is the Mercury Mars element, not the new moon element. And I want to be clear about that. Be aware, watch your step. Maybe not do a lot of, big travel over the weekend with the Mercury Mars stuff. Let's be fair. You can also have interruptions with and around your cars. Now, that could be chaotic in the sense of like, oh my God, I don't know why the car's not starting. Why is there liquid underneath the car? Whatever color it is, it could be oil, it could be antifreeze. It is cold enough, it could be antifreeze. What is going on? That could be the chaotic disruption. Pivotal disruption could be, I'm going to the car lot and I'm going to buy a different car because it is still Mercury Mars in the 8th house. So then we go back to the financial elements. We trade in one car and take on a new one, but we also take on the new debt. Some of us are going to be making some kind of commitment that can either bring on levels of debt or it can bring on levels of income. And either way it's going to go, this is something that we've been kind of holding off on for a little bit. We were waiting for something to kind of come through. We were waiting for a couple things to come together. Some of y'all are going to find yourself, if you go into chaotic disruption where you get stuck with this hermit card, like there can be an element of stuck in there, but I'm not like firm on the stuck with everybody. I just want to be clear about that. And for some of you, whatever you're going into next, you either had to take some time to prepare for it, or you're committing to something that allows you to start to prepare. Whether that is financial preparation, you're investing something, whether that is buying new equipment or putting certain monies into additional levels of training. Like, I'm going to take this course. I'm going to build this course. Like, I want to teach other people. And I'm investing the money in software, in the platform, in something. Like, there's a preparation area to this with the Four of Swords, and we're going to keep going after this. But that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. So we have the Six of Coins, where we like everything to be an equal give and take. Again, this is an 8th house thing. If you get a new car, you got to commit to paying the loan, the equal give and take kind of thing. So there can be those transactions, but beyond that, everything else kind of speaks to success, stability, direction, and feeling emotionally, financially more in charge. So we have the Four of Wands. I always look at the Four of Wands. It's like, we have chair legs. We want all 4 chair legs firmly on the ground before you put your ass on the seat because you don't want to fall on your face. Four of Wands, we have levels of stability. We have the Six of Wands, which is levels of achievement and recognition and success. And in addition to that, we have the Queen of Coins. This is a new moon in the 8th house in Saturn's sign, while Saturn is in your 10th house of career. Some of the commitments, the financial commitments, can also be work-related, directional in this regard. That's putting everything in a nice, soft, yay, potential. Let's do that. There's one other level of pivotal disruption that I cannot ignore. And that has to do with the 8th house is also a death house. This new moon is in a trine to Uranus in the 12th. The 12th house can also be a death house. Some of y'all, the pivotal disruption that is going to come through is because of death. Now, that's not necessarily coming in the cards. That's based off the astrology. And it could be father figures, grandfather figures. It could be something along these lines. We could be getting some level of payout or inheritance, an insurance payout of some sort, that kind of thing. Some of y'all might hit the lotto. I'm rooting for you. Good luck on that. This would be a good time for Gemini risings to go buy a lotto ticket if you really want to give it a shot. There can be pivotal disruption or chaotic disruption. And there's something about whenever you lose a specific person in your life, that the impact of losing them can also change your values of what you want for the future. And this can also trigger levels of transformation. And that kind of takes me back to this Queen of Coins. And this charge energy of being independent and self-sufficient and reaching levels of success. Many of you are going to have different levels of direction coming through that have both a financial impact and a career impact. But some of you guys are going to be having an impact that is coming from a different kind of disruption. And ultimately, it can give you money, but that doesn't necessarily like help everything. Because if you suffered a loss to get that, it's like an attempt to fill a hole, but it's not enough concrete to fill the hole of the foundation. It's just some of y'all, it's going to hurt a little bit more. And I want to be clear about that. I don't want to make over promises of sunshine and rainbows because y'all know I'm just a realistic person. So just kind of be aware that for some of y'all, pivotal disruption, for some of y'all, chaotic disruption, for some of y'all, it's going to hurt the heart a little bit. So I apologize, but I'm being realistic, making you aware. Okay. Moving along. For Cancers and Cancer risings, you're meeting new people. So many new people, so much going on. Some of y'all feeling super judged by people. Some of y'all are dealing with the outcomes of certain things. Some of y'all are dealing with some new truths. Some of y'all are having certain meetings, or you're going out and you started a new job and you're doing different things, and we're trying to find gears. And I want to be clear, some of y'all, you need to meet the new people right now, and they're going to give you a bigger influence later on as to like some of the things that you need to shift gears on. But I don't know that all of you are ready for the gear shift. Why do I say that? Because this is in a new moon and a Mercury Mars conjunction in the 7th house of others, but Jupiter is still retrograde in your 1st house. So I don't fully anticipate that all of you are ready to shift gears into something new quite yet, but you are learning something. Every time you interact with somebody new, every time a new opportunity comes through, there is like some level of knowledge, some level of support that helps you with a reframing, a rethinking of sorts. Some of y'all, again, are dealing with some judgment. And I warned you of that. If you have not been in good alignment, some of this next rounds of energy, you're not going to like what happens because it's going to challenge you. Others are starting to recognize that we're at the end of cycles, and the only way to heal and do something different is to make changes, but you're not ready to make the changes. There's levels of personal healing that needs to happen still. There's levels of truth that needs to happen still. And for many of you to achieve the things that are going to bring you success in your heart, you have to start to open and trust other people in a very different way right now. That's not going to be easy. For some of y'all, it's going to be real hard. But there's this energy of having to get over certain fears. Now, the reason so many Cancer risings are having to get over fears is because you guys had to deal with Pluto in your 7th from 2008 to literally the end of 2024. That is a long-term energy of like trauma around anybody and everybody else. You're gun shy. It's like every time you trust somebody, they've done some level of pain or hurt because of what you dealt with in partnership for years. So now we're at the start of something new, and you're looking at people like, where's the catch? Some of y'all are looking at other people and literally like, where's the catch? And you're not even wanting to trust. And I want people to be clear that sometimes new people come through to test you. I'm going to be honest about that. Sometimes new people come through so they can show you new truths, new ideas, so we can overcome this level of fear. The 9 of Swords, we struggle with certain elements of fear, and that's what this has to do with. But the Ace of Swords, we have to accept new logic, new information, and we have to restore elements towards trust on the other side. For some of you, this is trust related, and I'm being super clear about that. As you're connecting to new people, there is the potential of new ideas, new fun. The 3 of Cups, it's a happy card. It's a camaraderie card. It's the more you start to move forward. Here we go. Move forward with the new version of yourself, with the current version of lessons. You're not 5 years old anymore and super hopeful and people are just stomping on your emotions. No. You're a grown person and you're looking at other people waiting to see if the shoe is going to drop. And not all of you are going to deal with the shoe dropping. Some of you are going to actually meet people that are going to help you achieve certain levels of success. King of Cups. And I'm still saying Jupiter is in your first house. Now, is he doing a whole lot of growth and change and direction for the new? No. And that growth and change and direction for the new for a lot of y'all is not going to start until the end of March going into April. But that doesn't mean you don't have healing to do in the process. We do have healing to do. We do have different things that we need to do for ourselves. And we have energies that we need to let go of and transform. Now, with the death card, a lot of people look at it as like, oh no, everybody's going to die. No, death is transformation. It's reincarnation. It's a cycle, ends of cycles. So some of the new people that are coming through are going to be the ones that help you scratch the itch that you can't reach to finally heal certain things and help you make choices that are more restorative to balance. Now, the one thing about this Two of Coins and why I love this deck in particular is because this one shows two timelines in it. One, Libra transits, and two, this looks like an eclipse. The next eclipse, which is a month away, is going to be in Aquarius, which is your 8th house. The 8th house can also be a house of transformation. And some of the decisions and the people that are coming through right now can be people that trigger different forms of transformation and healing for you as we go through further parts of this year. You're meeting with certain people for a specific reason. Let's be clear about that. Now, Mercury conjunct Mars can be chaotic disruption and not necessarily pivotal disruption. So let's be fair. Some of y'all have judgment coming from the other side. The other thing with this Two of Coins, look at that scale. Judgment coming from the other side. For some of you, that's going to end up costing you money. It might not cost you money in this moment, but over the course of the rest of the spring, for some of you, it's going to cost you money. And this is why I was so clear with you guys through the last parts of 2025. Make sure you're being good to yourself. Make sure you got your ducks in a row. Make sure you're doing the right things, because later on, the judgment is going to come back around as to whether you did the right things or not. And some of y'all are not going to like these Capricorn transits. They're going to feel harsh for you. And if that is the case, I don't know what to tell you. I warned you as best as I could. Now we're in the vibration of either you're focusing on new in a pivotal, yay, new connections, new people, new relationships, or you're feeling the judgment, the harshness, the vibration, and you've been feeling it over the course of the last few weeks. Both can be versions of true at the same time. You might feel judgment, but also feeling the energy of like the new around you and that we're meeting new people for the right reasons. Both can be versions of true, but understand there's a reason new people have been coming through in this moment. And some of you are getting very close to being committed or connected to new people for a new long-term vibration. But for more of you, it's a business connection than a magical relationship. And that's the other part. For a lot of you, it's a business connection that is coming, not necessarily romantic connections. I'm not saying romantic connections can't happen, but a lot more of this is focused on business and your ideas of what you want for the future. And you need these people to be the pivotal levels of disruption so you can start to make different plans moving forward. You need it. Just trust me. Okay, moving along. We're going to get to Leos and Leo risings. This is a new moon in your 6th house of health, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people. This one's going to be a little bit bittersweet for some of you guys because this is a new moon in Capricorn, which is a Saturn ruled sign, and Saturn is in your 8th house. So death, debt, taxes, inheritance. Some of y'all are going to have some work changes that are going to impact you financially. Some of y'all are going to be blindsided by something with an elder that can speak to death. Some of you guys are going to start to want to do something for yourself and in your health. And it's going to be a hard emotional transformation in the beginning because we have some final things that need to be emotionally purged, but it's timely emotional purge. It's like, girl, I've been doing this forever. I've been taking care of everybody else, and I've just sacrificed so much for myself. It's time for me to do something for me. It's time for me to do something different. Now, for you, it's not going to be quick stuff. And that's why I'm saying we still have elements of emotional purge. Some of y'all, it's going to be a long-term game, and it's going to feel a lot harder in the beginning than once we get into further parts of the springtime. I feel like if you start doing something now, building your new routine, getting away from the things that are draining to you, that by the time we get into like April, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm almost ready for hot girl summer. We're going to power through this. Sometimes people like to do those like health challenges of I'm going to do a hard 90, a hard 80, hard 60s. I've seen this so many times. I feel like you're doing some foundational work now that's preparing you for the hard 90 or the marathon or whatever you're going to want to do once you get a little bit more put into order going into the springtime. This is foundational in regards to your health. This is something that is going to be very focused on shifting your routine and leaving a lot of frustrating things behind. Now, I'm not saying that frustration still can't come through. I will say this. You guys are the first ones that have had the Tower card, but it's not just the Tower card. I feel like a lot of things over the course of the last few months has already shown you some things that you need to walk away from. And I feel like you guys are feeling more compelled now to finally disconnect from certain people between now and eclipse season that have been draining to you. So I'll go ahead and start with the Tower card. We also have this Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is we walk away from people that no longer give us fulfillment. Some of y'all walked away from people already, and you've been emotionally struggling with it. You've been emotionally struggling with your self-importance, your confidence level, the things that you do to bring confidence to yourself. This is an energy where we start to commit to what it takes to rebuild our confidence, what we shift in our routines, what we are shifting in the way that we care for ourselves and the way that we care for everyone else. There's a reason we need to leave certain people in the past. So we have the Tower card, the Eight of Cups again. But everything from there means we're taking slow, steady steps. Knight of Coins. The thing about the Knight of Coins is this is very earth energy. We're talking about a new moon and a Mercury-Mars conjunction in Capricorn, very earth energy. The thing about the Knight of Coins, he doesn't make a move unless he's sure. He's not impulsive. He's slow, steady. The tortoise wins the race. We want to make slow, steady steps to do the things to rebuild our confidence. We have the Sun card, so that way we can start to see ourselves differently, so other people will start to see us differently. Are we going to do everything overnight? No. Root, foundation, slow, steady energy. But over time, all of it puts you into steps, Queen of Cups, to rebuild your confidence and being able to show parts of yourself and wearing your heart on your sleeve and putting your emotions out there and putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be seen differently. And it's going to put a whole lot of energy, Page of Coins, into the new direction, into our new ideas, into our new focus moving forward from here. So be aware of that. We're getting closer to a new direction, but what you are starting to do differently, if it's not work related right now, it is health related right now. And I feel like with more Leo risings, it is health related more than anything. Virgos and Virgo risings, I think you guys are really enjoying this energy. It's in a creative place for you. So the fifth house, new moon, love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, children. Some of y'all are going to find yourselves like really checking into something that brings creative energy, personal happiness, things that bring you pleasure, given the fact this is a new moon in the fifth house. But simultaneously, Mercury, your chart ruler, is making this conjunction to Mars. For some of you, there is disruption with and around your children, disruption in a legal matter. Why do I say that? Because this is a new moon, Mercury-Mars conjunction in Capricorn, in Saturn sign, while Saturn is wrapping up its trip through Pisces. Some of y'all might have some very disruptive news that impacts the partnership, Saturn in the seventh. Some of y'all might have some very disruptive news, pivotal or chaotic, that disrupts a relationship. It disrupts things around kids. It disrupts things around a legal matter. So be fair on that. Some of y'all are going to be putting some pushes against some people in this vibration. It's just making you aware of that. For others, there's going to be some things that get said that cannot be taken back. And it's more likely that it's coming from the other side But it's like once they say certain things to you, it hits in a way that it's like, oh, I'm not dealing with this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not hanging with you again. If this is the way that you're going to behave, I don't need you. Some of y'all, it's going to have to do with that. And it's going to push you back into your like hermit stage. And you have the hermit card. That's why I'm saying hermit stage. For other people, you've been in a hermit stage and you've been doing things that means bringing everything back into balance. And we're wanting to do something very, very different for ourselves. And we can feel certain things kind of churning and burning. We can feel certain frustrations that are going on. But we can also feel energies as they're transmuting, like quite literally through our body, like through us. Again, Mercury, Mars is hitting the conjunction during this new moon, but it is happening in your fifth house. Love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, children, creative energy, psychological behaviors that go back to our childhood. Little things from our childhood coming back up to the surface. Some of y'all just want to do doodles in a coloring book all weekend, but we're coloring the cuss words. Oh, this is the prettiest word of fuck I've ever seen. I love the profanity coloring books, by the way. I think that was a brilliant idea. But we have certain things just kind of coming through that is speaking to happiness, but also the potential of trigger frustration, depending on whether Mars and Mercury are doing pivotal disruption for you or chaotic disruption. So let's be fair for a second. For some of y'all, it's going to be chaotic disruption. Why do I say that? Because this guy was the first card out. It was the Tower card. Death, disruption, everything falling apart. The thing about the Tower code is it is a code. Tower card. It is the only card in the tarot deck that actually represents a structure, and the builder in me always pays attention to that. Some of y'all, the disruption might literally be physical. Kids fighting, slamming the doors, punching a hole in a wall. Some of y'all, you want to go to the rage room, but after you do it, it's like, oh my God, I feel so much better. So there's a little bit of disruption in here with the Tower card. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That level of disruption for everybody can be a little bit different. And I really think this has to do with the Mercury Mars. If we're dealing with levels of disruption, for some of y'all, you're going to realize you have to do some form of destruction so you can rebuild something. And for some of you, that is going to be based off of partnership because Saturn is in the seventh. For some of you, it is having to do with a legal matter. We have to do some level of deconstruction or dealing with the disruption, dealing with new information, dealing with something new, because it's going to be what kind of turns things through for the different direction of what we start to handle through eclipse season. This is the last new moon before eclipse season. Eclipse season will start with the new moon in Aquarius. So this is why I'm saying, like, we're foundational roots of what we have to change through eclipse season. There's a reason so much of this is speaking to like precursor, pre-game vibration for where we're going to be making changes soon. For some of you, that will be destructive. That's the Tower card. For some of y'all, because something gets said the wrong way, it forces you back into yourself. It forces you back into hermit mode. If that's the case, do not be surprised. For some of y'all, you've already been in hermit mode. The thing about the Virgo risings is every time I've tapped into one of you guys, I'm like, you in the waiting room, like you are waiting. Your focus is anybody and everybody else. It's not on you right now. It's not about you right now. And some of you have been exactly this. You've been in the hermit mode, waiting for something to come through. And for a lot of you, this is because it's giving us time to allow for our head and heart to get into alignment. Temperance card. We want these things in alignment. We don't want to be shoved in two different directions. We want things that speak to our heart, but also make logical sense. The Temperance card is a very mercurial card, in my personal opinion. Hiccup. It's a very mercurial card, but it's like it is literally the epitome to me of the axis of Virgo and Pisces, because we want things to make logical sense, Virgo, but we also want things to speak to us intuitively and emotionally, Pisces. We're pushing certain things into alignment, both logically and spiritually. We want our head and heart to be in alignment. And as alignment keeps coming through, now we have this wheel of fortune. Tides are turning, direction is coming through. Some of the direction is going to force you to start making different waves of how you connect to other people. That's coming. It's coming. It's sooner than what you realize, but the first little layers of who you're going to start to connect with are starting to come through over the course of this next month, month and a half. And many of you, you're being charged to do something for yourself. I love this Nine of Coins because I always call this a boss bitch card. It is a woman that planted her own seeds, roots, foundation, seeds, hear me? Okay. To grow her crops because we want good growth later on, to literally take that stuff to market and make money with it. Let me tie the astrology to this card. New moon in Capricorn, roots, foundation. I was very heavy on that in the beginning. To grow something, to take it to market. Saturn next month, literally a month away. First full day is going to be February 14th. Full day of Saturn in Saturn and Aries. Sorry, I said it wrong. First day of Saturn and Aries is Valentine's Day. So, okay, that's the first full day. That's putting us into something new, but Aries for you is your 8th house. It's a financial house. Of course, you want to be planting the right seeds so you can take the crops to market. And many of you realize just how important your charge is in this moment because it's aligning you with a very different direction of independence going into the future. And that goes into this Empress card. And that takes me to, remember by April, because I keep saying like it's setting us up for April right now, setting us up for April. That is going to be when Uranus goes into Gemini, the other mercurial sign, which is your 10th house of career. We're planting roots, we're planting seeds, we're putting a foundation right now for bigger growth potential later. And for some of you all, that also requires connecting to a different kind of person, a different quality of person that we're willing to trust and move with moving forward. You still have focus on the other side, not sugarcoating that, not taking that away. But your alignment in this vibration is getting closer to a bigger potential of growth and change. Be aware of that. There's a reason you have been supporting everyone else and watching everyone else. It was to show you what you needed to do different. Okay. Love you. Moving along. 2 Libras and Libra risings. All right, my loves. This is a new moon in your 4th house of home life, family, roots. It goes back to that word. Roots, ancestry, genetics. I include genetics with the 4th house. You don't just inherit dad's good looks. Sometimes you inherit mom and dad's karma, grandma and grandpa's karma. That's a real thing. But a lot of you are having a very different focus in what you are dealing with in your home life, in your family dynamic. There's something that we truly are getting to the root cause. Now, we also have this Mercury-Mars conjunction happening in the 4th house. Again, home life, and family. Some of y'all, we might be making a pivotal disruption in our home life. It's like telling our family, hey, I'm going to move. I got this new job opportunity that has come through, and that's going to require me moving to another city, to another area of the state, to another area of the country, to another area of the world. Some of y'all might be disrupting your roots in this energy. How big or how small for a lot of you could be very, very different. Some of y'all, it has nothing to do with moving. It has more to do with like the focus of how I take care of my elder, because this is a Saturnian sign this is happening in. Saturn is in this area of the 6th house, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people. Some of y'all might be having to deal with new forms of care with and around your elders, and it's going to anchor you in a way. And it's like, oh, I thought we were going to do XYZ 1, 2, 3. And instead I'm having to be a caretaker. I'm a live-in nurse. I'm doing something different that I was not anticipating. There is that level of shift. And for some of you, that means walking away from what you thought was going to be your career path, what you thought was going to be the plan moving forward. This commitment of vibration, like there's still some part of it we're not seeing clearly, we're kind of confused by. This new moon is in a sextile to that Saturn. It is in a sextile to Neptune, while also being in a trine to Uranus in your 8th house, death, debt, taxes, inheritance. Some of y'all have to start doing something different with and around your family. And it's also got a financial element to it. Some of you are just looking at, for us to finally have the home that we want, we have to change our financial plans, or we have to really hunker down on how we've been doing our spending. Like we've got to, if we put focus for the next few months. We can restore our credit. We can get the money saved. We can XYZ, 1, 2, 3, commitment vibration. Some of y'all, you did get a new house already, and we're just investing the money in the new house. It's a little different for everybody. Kind of depends on who your time lord is and how well you have been dealing with Venus lately. Because remember, Venus went through a rebirth too. Venus went through that conjunction with the sun and a conjunction with Mars simultaneously. There was disruption all through that week, showing you different things that you want to do. And right before this new moon perfected, not after, but before, I apologize, Venus, your chart ruler, went into Aquarius, which is your 5th house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. Page of Coins. The arrival of Venus into the 8th house can also bring focus on either something with and around your kids, which still impacts the home life. For some of you, around your own personal happiness, which can still impact the home life. Because if you don't feel safe, secure in your home, then you're not going to be a happy person outside the world. Let's be fair about that. So that Page of Coins can have a lot to do with children. Venus just went into your 5th house. For some of you, this is going to have to do with children. For others, there's going to be certain things that kind of come through that you finally have to accept certain responsibilities, that a burden has either come through for you to finalize, or that you are finalizing a burden itself. The 10 of Wands is like, I've carried this load forever and I need to unload it. Some of you are getting closer to unloading a burden. And again, that could still speak to moving. If you're moving out of your parents' house and you're going on a new direction on your own, that can be unloading the burden of their stress, of their rules, of their ideas. And you guys are kind of pursuing new things in a logical way. Knight of Swords is, it can be emotional, but it can also just be the awareness of like, I have to do things for myself. That Knight of Swords. Now, being aware that moving things forward for ourselves, we are still trying to reach elements of like personal happiness and things that we're wanting to do for ourselves. Some of you need to still deal with some of the secrets of what the family has not been willing to share. So that goes into the 7 of Swords. This is kind of a betrayal card, but I'm not really picking up a whole lot of energy towards relationships with you guys right now. So some of y'all might have to just deal with family secrets, and that's the disruption. We need to finally talk about what happened to Uncle Jimmy, whoever Uncle Jimmy is. I don't have an Uncle Jimmy, I'm just saying. We got to talk about Uncle Jimmy. We got to talk about what happened to Sally. We got to talk about something. And it's like, because we're finally willing to talk about this disruptive, chaotic, or pivotal situation, we're able to work through certain insecurities, and we can deal with certain things that might be deemed like betrayal. 7 of Swords is a very backstabby betrayal card. But again, we still have the 6 of Cups. I think I showed this to you guys already. There are certain things that we're trying to reach levels of personal happiness and achievement with the 6 of Cups. And then we also have this boss bitch energy with the 9 of Coins. I love the 9 of Coins. I should love the 10 of Coins, but me, I'm an independent lady. I love the 9 of Coins. The thing about, again, this particular new moon, it is in the 4th house of home life, roots, ancestry. There's a root foundational situation that is in the tone. It's in the topics. It's what we're trying to set up for ourselves. A lot of you are literally talking about where you're setting up roots. And for some of you, that is disruptive, because you are saying, I can't continue to live here. I'm going to co-create something on my own. For some of y'all, the disruption is people coming in the door saying, I don't like what you did with this place. I don't care. You don't pay my bills. And tell them that. Hand them a bill like, oh, okay, you have an opinion, cool, here's this, your part of the rent is X amount, I'm not paying that rent. Then shut up. Okay. With the 9 of Coins, this is a woman who plants her own seeds. Roots, foundation, roots, plants her own seeds, grows her own crops to take these things to market. We are rooting into something that is going to have a financial impact later, and is going to change the way that we connect to other people later. We are committing to something in our routine, in our roots. Some of us are having to deal with family secrets or family dynamics of some sort in this new moon. For some people, it will be chaotic disruption. For other people, it will be pivotal disruption. But the focus with and around this vibration is the home life. It is the family. Some of y'all just buying new furniture and it's super easy. The furniture gets delivered on Monday. Yeah, let's go do it. You went shopping all weekend. But it's getting mom and dad their perfect like electric recliner, so it makes it easier for them to get up off the couch. We're doing something for our elders, mom, dad, grandpa, whoever. We're doing something to support the family while also setting up the stage for future vibrations. There is a foundational energy, there is a root energy, and for you guys, first and foremost, it is the fourth house. There's a root energy here. I'm just being fun right now. Okay. Oh, I love and appreciate you guys. Just being real. Moving along. We're going to get into Scorpios and Scorpio risings. We're not the problem, but sometimes we are the problem. We have the Mercury Mars conjunction going on, but what I really need to make Scorpio risings aware of is as we go through this next week, so the next weekly episode that I talk about, we're going to have a lot of conjunctions to Pluto this time. And oh, people are not going to like us because they're going to get triggered. They're not going to like the truth. They're not going to like the things that we have to say. And some of us, quite literally, are going to be making members of our family very, very angry. And this could be that first little moment of us saying something with the Mercury Mars conjunction. So at this time on the screen, it's just past the exactness. So it was most exact in the overnight hours of the 17th into the 18th. So you can see 2:30 a.m. Here's Mars, 26.5. Here's Mercury, 26.6. We're not even quite to the new moon's perfection yet, but I want to bring up the fact that even this Mercury Mars is in a trine to Saturn. It's in a sextile, I'm sorry, trine to Uranus, a sextile to Saturn. The new moon in and of itself will be in this sextile to Neptune. There are levels and layers as to like how deep this is going to go. But there's a lot of things being communicated. There's a lot of things that have to do with planning. There's a lot of things that need to be done, that need to be said. Some of you might have some things going on with siblings. Do not be surprised by that because this is the third house. Some of y'all might be having some travel plans. Some of y'all might be talking to somebody from a long distance that's going to relate to travel later on, like more so over the summer. I'm just kind of making you guys aware of that. So don't be surprised if, again, we have additional things when we have additional things that speak to future vibration. But I feel like some of us with the Mercury Mars conjunction, we saying some things to people that they are not prepared for, that they are going to be triggered by through this new moon, and especially the week following the new moon, because we have the Mercury Mars conjunction, which is the third one. And this can tie back to the stuff that we were talking about and dealing with back in October, but it can also tie into the stuff we'll be dealing with in April. I'm being so realistic about that. But some of the things that we are saying, the things that we are planning, the things that we are doing, they're going to have a certain type of dynamic triggering shift. In some ways, we are the problem. Our words, our tone, our energy, it is heightened. Capricorn raisings are heightened right now, but we are heightened too based off the way the transits are going to go. So I'm making you guys really, really aware of that. But in other ways, there's a lot of vibration kind of going on. There is some overwhelm for many people trying to figure out what we're doing now, what foundational elements we are working through. Some of us are committing to certain types of learning. Some of us are talking to people again from a long distance. We're planning out future trips, future levels of travel. Some of us are traveling in the moment, but we're not necessarily happy about all of it. We have so much coming through. A lot of us are starting to awaken to new vibrations anyways. But now we have this death card. We just had a Sun Mars conjunction. We're about to have the Sun Pluto conjunction. And I always do this for myself personally during, as a Scorpio rising during Sun Pluto, but I'm really suggesting it to everybody. Pay attention to the downloads that are coming through this next week, especially during the Sun Pluto conjunction. There are things coming through, directions coming through of what needs to change and what needs to transform. Death card, Pluto, Hades, the god of death, the god of the underworld. There's transformation afoot for many of us that is setting a new stage for what our new path is of how we are of service to so many people. It's a kind of an important energy for everybody. But of course, I'm also a Scorpio rising, so I have a different way to look at this because I'm one of you. Anyways, there's a lot of exchange, give and take, different things that we're going to be working on. There's going to be a lot of mental ideas of, again, groundwork and foundational work of things that we need to work through moving forward. Some of us are not going to like the things that we are saying, judgment card. Some of us are saying exactly what needs to be said, and we don't care how much it upsets the other person. Get triggered, baby. I hope it helps. But ultimately, we're going to be satisfied with the outcome of a lot of this situation because we get this 10 of cups afterwards. Things that brings happiness, things that brings our hearts content, things that brings different kinds of direction, and again, different levels of purpose as the year continues. We are doing foundational work right now so we can build off something bigger later on, especially financial building. And that will make sense as we get closer to April. Okay. April. Moving along. Oh, for Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings, this is a new moon in your second house of money, your assets, your stuff, what you do with money, how you spend money. Some of y'all going out and buying some stuff this weekend. We got to do some shopping for the house. It is a new moon in the second house of money, while Saturn is in the fourth house of home life, and family. Some of y'all are investing some things because that's the best way to get everything tied up for the home life. Some of y'all are investing in your actual home, doing some repairs, making plans towards repairs. Some of you guys are working on like HELOCs and loans of that sort. You're buying materials. And the reason I'm saying all of that is because Saturn is still in your fourth house of home life, and family. And the more I'm focused on this Mercury-Mars conjunction, I know the next the next Mercury retrograde is going to be in Pisces, which again is your fourth house of home life, and family. Some of y'all might be committing to something in this moment that will later impact the home life. It will later impact the family. That doesn't have to be a bad thing, but considering Jupiter in your eighth house is also in a financial house, some of y'all are going to have to face some fears, face some truths, and make some judgment calls, quite literally judgment calls, as to what's going to be the best thing for everybody. Sometimes that means buying the new furniture. We got to buy the bunk beds for the kids. That's the only way it's going to make it work. For some of y'all, you're going to have to invest that money in your home, in the house, in the family, in some way. Some of it is going to be small, minute purchases. For other people, it is going to be something much, much bigger and much, much more inclined. There's not a lot of emotion in this energy. It's just like, this is the facts of life. And sometimes the only thing that's going to make sense is to invest the money. So we have the King of Swords. There's not a lot of emotions with swords. There's just really not. Can there be emotions with earth signs? Sure, but it's like steady emotions. Like, we're not trying to be over dramatic. We're having to make some logical decisions. Some of us, we're going to be spending the entire weekend making some purchases again because we're purchasing material for something that we're going to be making changes later. We aren't making the changes all right now. We're making them later. We know we're making them later, but we're also making certain commitments to make these changes happen. So let's be fair about that. Some of us, we're going to have to do some work, even though we're not going to immediately see some success. Eight of Swords, it's kind of just, for some of this energy with you guys, it feels mentally draining because it's not going as fast as you like. Now, the thing about Sagittarius is you are a Jupiter ruled sign, but you're a fire sign and you like things to go a little bit faster. We're not in fire energy yet. Now, later this year, it's going to feel better. But right now, ruts, roots, foundation, digging into the ground, digging into the soil, anchoring. And some of the purchases, some of the money you are spending, some of the money that's coming through, it's foundational for the things that kind of come ahead. So we got to make these judgment calls. You got that judgment card. A lot of this is going to have to do with family for a lot of you. Some of you, we have equal levels of gifts of exchange. So I'm like, you could be signing contracts with contractors, or you could be signing the stuff to get the material, maybe that contractor starting. That might be more so like late February going into March if we have contractor work coming through. But there's some level of exchange that's meant to kind of come through in this energy. You're having to make, I'm saying judgment calls, but it feels like responsible decisions. Like, this is the right thing to do. This is the thing that makes sense. This is how we're going to spend the money. This is how we're making the money. This is what is going to work the best. And some of y'all are going to feel very, very lucky in the moment. Nine of Cups. I always look at the Nine of Cups as it's better to be lucky than smart. And I have a friend that he wrote a book, like that's the name of the title of this book. And I always like, that's what I default to. So Nine of Cups, like it's better to be lucky than smart. And for a lot of you, you're seeing certain things kind of come through. Like you got the right deal on the tile, you got the right deal on the furniture, you shopped the right sale, you went to an estate auction. I don't care, whatever works for you. I'm frugal. There's a lot of stuff in my house that I completely redid it myself because I'm frugal and I wanted to look a certain way. But a lot of you in the long run, there's a lot of benefit to this with the 10 of coins being the last card. You're going to be happy with the outcome. But I will be honest, if we are doing some type of repair or change that doesn't take place until late February, there's going to be delays and hiccups before you finally get the results that you want. So if the contractor really comes through and says, hey, we're going to start you February 15th and we'll have it done in a week, I don't trust it. And if they say they're going to start in March, I really don't trust it. And you might be getting delays. So that's realism based off of how that energy is going to go, because the end of February starts a Mercury retrograde. Okay. And it's in your fourth house of home life, and family. So some of y'all, if this is contractor related, you're going to have delays, but you're still going to ultimately be happy with the final product. That's where I'm picking up. Okay. Moving along. Oh, for Capricorns and Capricorn risings, y'all the problem. You are buzzing. You are motivated. You are heightened. Y'all can't sleep. Restless energy. Some of y'all a little bit more accident prone because Mars is in your first house. You're not necessarily satisfied with everything. You're feeling changes in your body. You're feeling changes in yourself. You're feeling changes in your desire. And a lot of y'all are really, really motivated to get something put into order. And for most of you, it is something around the family, something around the home life. This is what I want for myself. New moon in the first, Mercury Mars conjunction in the first. Mars, of course, rules Aries, your fourth house of home life, and family. And in a month, literally a month, Saturn is going to completely submerge into Aries. So we're getting prepared. We're making the decisions for what we want to be our long-term drive and focus. And there's a lot of you that are really tired of other people. And we're still kind of struggling with some of the things that we've had to let go of. And I want you to be more focused on what you're heading towards and not so much what you're leaving behind, because you're heading into something. You're focused on something that is new with and around you and your values and your roots and your desires and what you want different for your family. And it's not just your family. It is the whole ancestral lineage from here. I want to build something new. For a lot of you, it is literally like, you don't just want to live in an apartment that's in town. No. I want a house that I can pass down to my kids or my grandkids. I want land. I want a family compound. I want something bigger than what anyone else can imagine, because you're ruled by Saturn. And not only is Saturn a big planet, but he's got all the rings. He wants things to spread out and encompass and carry and cover more than just yourself. There's legacy involved. Quite literally, there's legacy involved. And for many of you, you still need to let go of some of the things that have been holding you back, emotionally holding you back. And that's the wrap up of Saturn and Pisces. Now, Saturn is going to finally leave Pisces late on February 13th. I just keep saying Valentine's Day is our first full day of Saturn in Aries. And you're going to feel a lot different. Some of y'all, if you remember over the summer of 2025, when that little glimpse of Saturn and Aries, it felt good. I liked it a lot. I don't know about you guys. I liked it. It felt like there was action. There felt like there was motivation. There was a drive there. There was a purpose there. There was a lot of activity with Saturn and Aries. Some of y'all, I'm very serious. Focus on what you have, Five of Cups, and not what you have lost. There's a reason you had to purge people at the last part of 2025. Those are the people that they didn't go with you into the new normal. They don't deserve the new version of you. They don't deserve who you are becoming. They don't deserve the legacy. Now, for a lot of you, you're still struggling with what your new purpose and your new role is going to be. And I'm just saying, it's slow moving energy anyways, baby. Take it one day at a time. Be sure, be careful, be cautious, be driven, be motivated, and determined for what's best for you. We don't jump to conclusions. We don't need to jump to conclusions. Some of y'all need lessons in that. Some of y'all, but not all of you. Nine of Swords and the Hierophant. Our focus is more foundational than anything else. Everything that follows, we have the Six of Coins. We're getting into an energy that speaks to equal levels of exchange. You help me, I help you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I will do right by you if you do right by me. Let's find these equal levels of give and take. We still have Jupiter in the seventh house, so our trust in other people is meant to be a lot easier. After Jupiter turns direct, that will make more sense. And again, that's taking us into March and April timeframe. We have the Six of Wands. So we have this level of success and achievement that is on the horizon. Many of you are committing to successful things and new things within yourself. Ace of Coins, again, in your direction, in your path, in your desires. We are working towards something that is going to be changing your place in the family, in the hierarchy, in the direction. We are focused on something very, very different moving forward. You are taking charge and you guys are stepping into those new roles of patriarchy and matriarchy within your family dynamic, creating a different root system for yourself. And that's a good thing. Okay. Moving along, moving along, moving along. For Aquarius and Aquarius risings, y'all not exactly happy, but you're not exactly mad either. It's just been kind of draining. We haven't had all the energy. It feels like everything is going on for everybody else, and you're not really wrong. The thing is whenever you're trying to make things happen and your 12th house is so freaking activated, you're not getting anywhere anytime fast. And some of y'all might be coming very clear on something that you need to cleanse, clear, release, heal from, or let go of. Why do I say that? This is a new moon in the 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. This is a Mercury Mars conjunction in the 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. But Venus just entered your first house. This literally happened over the course of the week and in the build up to the new moon. And you guys can be very, very appreciated for what you're letting go of. Some of y'all are going to feel blessed that you are willing to drop certain things, that you're willing to no longer to connect to different things. We have a timely aspect in the karma that is starting to come through. And there's different little twinges of ideas that are coming to the front of the psyche, but they haven't happened yet. You guys are waiting for eclipse season, and that's literally a month away. That is going to happen roughly around February 17th. I'm doing that from memory. Sorry. We're not that far away. And you guys are going to have a very different vibration then as to what you want to do for yourself, who you want to do it with, if you want to do it with anybody else. So just be aware of that. You're getting closer to something. You're becoming more focused on something. And there is elements still of shakiness, of letting some things go, of releasing insecurities, because we do still have such an activated 12th house. Now, here's the deal. This 12th house activation is nearly done. And when you listen to the week ahead forecast, I need y'all to realize how much stuff is about to hit you immediately following this new moon. Venus has just come into Aquarius. That's going to bring some appreciation, some beauty elements. I want to work on my personal figure, stuff like that. I've got a different kind of taste. All of a sudden, like, I really just want a snow cone, humor me. I want a hot dog. I want a salad. I want something like there's a taste, quite literally. I'm trying to capture a smell. I'm wanting something that just appeals to my senses. And as you start to do that, what you'll notice is over the following week from this new moon, after we continue, Mercury's going to come into your first house. The sun's coming into your first house. Everything but Mars. Mars doesn't happen this next week. But no, it does. It's at the end of the week. We have a bunch of the transits from Capricorn moving into your first house. So that means a lot of attention's about to fall onto you. A lot of busyness is about to fall onto you. And a lot of things are about to hit your plate immediately following the new moon. And once you become aware of certain things, I'm going to be serious. Some of y'all not going to like it. So the Five of Coins is kind of a bankrupt card. It's a desolate card. Something's going to be expensive. There's going to be some unexpected bills, some unexpected costs. We have the Five of Swords, and there could be fighting about it. What do you mean? You had an extra credit card this entire time. Why didn't I know about this? Why am I just finding out? Be aware. There could be tensions, triggers, and arguments immediately with the new moon in some ways, but more so after the new moon as things start to come into Aquarius and all the transits to Pluto hit. So I want to be clear, the immediate energy after this new moon, some of y'all not going to like it. Not sugarcoating that. I'm making you aware. This will make more sense whenever I do the week ahead episode and I talk about all the stuff in Aquarius. So be aware of that. Some of y'all are going to have some tension. Some of y'all are going to have to really handle that truth, deal with certain things that they're coming to light, telling some final things. I don't know why I just noticed this. Like, we're wrapping up the year of the snake over the next month because Chinese New Year doesn't happen until February. And I'm noticing the snake, like the snake on her arm is like really popping out when I'm looking at this card with you guys. Some of y'all are going to have to take the things that have come to light. And once they fall onto your plate, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with the lies, the fraud, the deception. You're going to have to deal with the bill. You're going to have to do something to set some things right. But once you deal with this truth, once you understand that knowledge, everything that kind of falls into place after that gives you the chance to create something different. We have this Magician card. This is a very mercurial card. The other thing that's going to happen this week, and it's the most exact on Wednesday, is going to be the Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius. Certain things are going to come to light, epiphany levels of energy, enlightened levels of energy. There's a reason certain things needed to fall apart. There's a reason some things needed to go behind the wayside. There's a reason that you had to disconnect from some people, feel a little bit isolated. There was a reason for that exhaustion. It was to give you time to rest and prepare for what was about to start to come through. And once it comes through, there's going to be a new level of passion and desire. We have a King of Wands. This is setting us up because we're a month away from eclipse season, and the first eclipse is going to be in Aquarius. You have new direction coming. It's unfolding over the course of the next few weeks. And it is going to get you closer to committing to something that again speaks to a foundational level of commitment, new passion, new desire, new path. And then we also have this Emperor card. Some of you might be dealing with something with your father's Emperor card. Some of you might be dealing with something with boss or people that are CEOs, people that are figureheads that are in some level of power. And you might be having to hold them accountable. Other people are going to be having to go to other people to get their support to fix a certain situation because a lot of the attention is about to focus onto you and your plate and what you need to do. But a lot of it you did not create. And I'm being so realistic about that. Aquarius transits are about to hit a high literally after this new moon, right as we go into the next week. So I'm making you guys aware that there's some final elements of cleansing, closure. I'm not doing this again. I'm doing it for the last time. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel right. This doesn't speak to me anymore. And then poof, epiphany, direction, additional things start to lay out and show you why or how to do the different direction. Why we no longer, but what we do from here. There's a different shift in focus coming very quickly. But the new moon in and of itself, I don't know that you want to be connected to a lot of people. I think a lot of you, if you're trying to do connections to a lot of people, you're going to be drained by it. Or it's going to be one of those things I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And don't be surprised is after this last week or going into the weekend that we're in this moment of, I don't want to do this anymore. Or some of you are going to find yourself going into work this next week and finding out you're not doing it anymore. It's going to come from a boss or some type of figurehead sort of situation of like, oh yeah, we're changing your position. We're doing layoffs. We're doing something in this vibration. And some of you might not necessarily be prepared for it, but please understand very, very quickly, things are about to hit on your plate. And some of y'all are not prepared. I'm warning you. But that human effect, I can't. The human effect is different for everybody. Okay, moving along. All right, for Pisces and Pisces risings, this is a new moon in your 11th house of friends, network, clients, colleagues, people you like to share your space with, people that you are in alignment with, same beliefs, same values. For some of you, this is going to be a very spiritual vibration. oh, I love hanging out with this person. They tell me all these good things. They make me feel seen. For some of you, this is going to be really, really good. For others, this is going to be work related. It's going to put a different kind of responsibility onto you, but it's like a responsibility that also ties to other groups of people. Why do I say that? Because this is a new moon in the 11th, but it's ruled by Saturn. And where is Saturn? Oh, yeah, he's still in your first house. The good news is we're almost done with him. We're about a month away, but there's still like this final element of being in charge, a different kind of responsibility, certain judgment calls. Some of you, it's going to be beneficial and it's going to impact you financially. For other people, it is going to be putting you into elements where you have to support everyone else. Like, look, if we do this, if we trust this, it's going to help us overcome certain conflicts. It's going to help us in a supportive way. Some of you are just out there being the cheerleader for everyone else. You got this. It's quite literally like the person that sits on the edge of the stage that knows everybody in the band, that knows everybody in the play, that knows everything that's going on, but they're not actually a part of it. They're the cheerleader. You got this. It's going to happen. Everything's going to be okay. And there's something here that it's like we need to help people get over some conflict. 5 of Swords. We need to kind of recognize the new things that are coming to light. Page of Coins. And some people are going to be speaking from a point of their emotions and their heart. We have the Knight of Cups, but then we also have this Queen of Wands. So I'm putting all of these kind of together because this is what I was kind of picking up on. This feels connected in the sense of like multiple people are involved. And that's why I was putting the Page, the Knight, and the Queen all together in this energy. Some of you guys are going to completely understand, again, reasons or seasons, things come to a close, things come to an end, things have new beginnings, and you guys are putting yourself in a position to where you're in like a support position, making everyone else understand, hey, this is the time, this is what we do. Some of you are being cheered on by the support people, like, no, she can do all of it. Put her in charge. The boss is leaving, fine. Screw him. We didn't like him anyways. Her, him, them. I want them. I trust them to do the right thing and be a good boss. I've personally been in this situation before. Like literally, there was one time that I wasn't even in the room. I was taking care of somebody in the hospital, quite literally. And my entire sales team like talked to the owners of the company saying, the only person we want to be our boss is her. We want her. We trust her. She knows everything. It's perfect. It's right. And yet still, people didn't know how to process that because it was like this camaraderie energy of all the support with and around a certain person in a way that didn't necessarily make sense to everybody. But there were judgment calls that needed to be made. Judgment card. There you go. Some of you guys, you are making the judgment call as to how you are going to take care of big groups of people, your friend group, employees, your coworkers. Like you are a part of the judgment call. Here's that energy. But ultimately, whatever is starting to unfold that impacts both you and your surroundings, because it's not just you. That's the big thing I'm getting with Pisces risings right now. It ain't just you. That it's going to then give you a different direction financially going deeper into this year. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing because your last card is the 10 of Coins. All right, there it goes. I like this card. I have a number of people that Neptune is in their second house of money. Y'all are about to start this transit. And I've seen this go one of two ways. It's either one, they can't be trusted with money. But I don't necessarily go with that based off transit because a lot of you have had to make some very hard lessons that if you were ever caught lying or being deceptive, there was levels of accountability to it. And this can still speak to accountability. That judgment card is real. There could still be some accountability. For others of you, I feel like there's, because of the Saturn element, there's a new charge, there's a new responsibility, a new dynamic that is going to have a financial impact. But for a lot of you, it's your control over money because Neptune is one of your chart rulers. And not only are we going into Saturn going into Aries in the next month, but literally in the next 2 weeks, Neptune is going to go into Aries. So I see for many of you a financial change that cannot be measured with that 10 of Coins. The people that I think of that their natal placement of Neptune in the second, if it's not the deceptive energy, if it's the pivotal manifestation, I can make things happen, I see it huge with strong investors. Like they're the ones that can literally like start the penny stocks with $20 and turn it into 200,000 in a year. They can do leaps and bounds in finance. If you use this energy appropriately, if you use it well, there is huge potential of financial reward that is on the horizon. Whether that is getting a promotion that comes with a nice little pay raise, whether that is some level of layoff, but then afterwards you go start your own business, because that's a big possibility. Whatever it is, the charge with and around you is setting you up for a large potential of financial success. That's the positive. The pivotal disruption with Mercury Mars can be, if you haven't been honest, somebody in your group catches you, the accounting department catches you, an invoice comes through that shouldn't have happened, disruptive communication that forces you to have some level of accountability later on. It can go either way. You know where you're at in your personal karma. I hope for the best. I plan for the worst. We land somewhere in the middle. So be aware of that. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the shares. Make sure you guys check out my friend's podcast, The Quiet Knowing. Again, I will put that link in the description. Hit me up with questions. Hit me up with concerns. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.